So you're 65 with $1.5 million saved up. You're considering a Roth conversion, but you're not sure if it's the right decision for you. What should you do? To help answer that question, we'll walk through two planning scenarios with John and Susan. They're in a very similar situation. They've got about $1.5 million in assets, with more than $1 million of that in IRAs. In one scenario, we'll keep everything the way it is currently. In the other, we'll implement some additional tax planning strategies, including the utilization of Roth conversions. For John and Susan, which one will allow them to maximize their hard-earned retirement dollars? Hi, I'm Josh Palmer, Director of Financial Planning with the Noble Group. I'm a certified financial planner and have spent more than 20 years in the financial industry. As we said, John and Susan are both 65. They have almost $300,000 in non-qualified taxable accounts and about $1.2 million in traditional and rollover IRAs. They're retiring this year and planning on taking Social Security immediately. Their total spending goal is $9,500 per month after taxes. So let's take a look at John and Susan's two retirement scenarios. Again, they're identical except for one thing: tax planning. Scenario A is John and Susan's current retirement with no tax planning. This is the retirement plan that most of our clients come into the office with initially. Scenario B is our proposed plan that implements some high-level tax planning, including those Roth conversions. This chart shows us the difference between these two scenarios. You can see here that our proposed strategy would net us more than $1 million in additional assets by the end of John and Susan's retirement compared to their current plan. In this chart, we can see how our two scenarios would be taxed. Our proposed strategy would save us almost $100,000 in taxes throughout retirement. So what's really going on here? And why is there such a huge difference between these two scenarios? Well, most clients, when they first come into our office, have a plan similar to John and Susan's current strategy. Their financial advisor has scheduled them to take withdrawals from taxable and tax-free accounts first to let their tax-deferred accounts grow. This strategy seems to make sense on the surface. We're avoiding the majority of taxes for now, and as we get older, we'll start spending less, therefore the taxable withdrawals will also be less. What's the biggest issue with this conventional way of thinking? Required minimum distributions. Beginning at 72, the IRS forces you to take distributions based on year-end account values and life expectancy. And these required minimum distributions are, just as the name applies, required. Even if you don't need the money for living expenses, you are required to take it out. This could cause a snowball of effects on other areas of your retirement plan. For example, this may cause more of your Social Security income to be taxed, and it may also impact your Medicare premiums. Now let's explain what's going on in this proposed strategy and what makes it the better option for John and Susan. A piece of this strategy is that we'll be making Roth conversions during their first 4 years of retirement. But why are we not just converting all of that IRA money at once? Well, here's why. We're trying to do what we call filling up a tax bracket. John and Susan are currently in the 24% tax bracket, and we want to keep them in that bracket and avoid the higher 32% bracket. By utilizing this fill-up strategy, we'll be converting just enough IRA money each year to fill up their current tax bracket, but not so much that they're bumped up to a higher bracket. This way, none of their Roth conversions will be taxed at that 32% rate. If we dive into our conversion table, we can see that we'll convert about $388,000 this first year of retirement, $270,000 the next year, $112,000 the third year, and a smaller amount of $60,000 to clean it up in the fourth year. You can also see in this column their withdrawals from tax-free accounts. In this case, this will be their new Roth IRA account we're creating with those Roth conversions. Even though they'll be at an age where there's required minimum distributions, they're not required in Roth IRAs. Therefore, John and Susan can withdraw only the amount they need for their living expenses, not an amount required by the IRS. Over time, that helps build over $1.1 million in additional assets by the time they're both 90. Now let's talk about withdrawal rates and how they impact our retirement strategy. A common guideline often used in retirement planning is the 4% rule, which says that by aiming your withdrawal rate at around 4% of your savings each year, It'll help ensure you don't run out of money. In this chart, you can see the conventional way of retirement withdrawals by taking an inflation-adjusted amount from 65 to 90. The withdrawal rate may be in that 4 to 6% range early on, but you can see over time how it continues to increase as we are forced to take more money out due to required minimum distributions, taxes, and living expenses. A new approach that's becoming more popular involves retirement spending stages. With this method, we front-load more spending for the earlier years of retirement and slowly drop off that spending as retirees get older. The reason this approach is preferred by a lot of clients is because many of them want to spend more in their early retirement while they're traveling and enjoying their newfound lifestyle. As they get older and aren't able to do the same things they could when they were younger, they spend less. Here's our withdrawal rate for John and Susan's proposed plan. The first few years, from ages 65 to 70, we have higher withdrawal rates because we're paying the taxes of the Roth conversion strategy. After 75, we see our rate drop, and we see a drop again at 85. That puts us around a 2.5% to 3% withdrawal rate for the rest of their retirement. Overall, this Roth conversion strategy works well for John and Susan. We're able to reduce their tax liability and build them an additional $1 million in retirement funds over the long term. But there are even more benefits to taking this route. The first is that John and Susan have some legislative protection. If tax rates go up due to congressional laws, they're immune to those increases because they had paid their tax at a lower rate. The second benefit isn't really talked about that often. Let's say you have a balanced portfolio that's earning 5%. If you're in the 22% tax bracket, your tax equivalent yield is 3.9%. If I can earn you the 3.9% in an after-tax account, then theoretically I can take less risk to do that. And as you age, you want less risk in your portfolio, so this could be a big win. Ultimately, optimizing your taxable income using a Roth conversion strategy coupled with an income distribution strategy could lead to more assets for your retirement, your beneficiaries, and a smaller tax liability. In John and Susan's case, implementing these strategies resulted in over $1.1 million in additional assets and paying almost $100,000 less in taxes. And if that wasn't good enough, these strategies also allowed them to build a more comfortable retirement safety net with less risk involved. If you have any more questions about what we went over today, feel free to give us a call or shoot us an email. Have a great week, and we'll see you in the next one.